Hello, this is Shadi Reyes from CVI 2018. With me is Daniel Feldman. He's a coronary challenging case finalist for this year, and for an interesting case he presented yesterday. His case and other challenging cases already will be on the CVI website and YouTube channel, but welcome, Daniel.
Thank you.
Daniel, currently he's the structural fellow at Minneapolis Heart Institute, and will tell us a little bit about his case.
Sure. So this was a gentleman, 91-year-old gentleman from our VA that we work with at the University of Illinois, Chicago. Was being worked up for TAVR, and he needed angiography prior to his TAVR to assess his coronaries. And he wound up having severe 3-vessel coronary disease, heavily calcified, that we felt he needed to be revascularized prior to his TAVR. So we undertook this high-risk PCI. Which required quite a bit of atherectomy and kind of some advanced skills to complete his PCI.
So his severe AS and LV function was normal?
LV function was normal. He had severe AS, kind of on the just meeting criteria for severe AS. So we kind of felt we were able to attempt a high risk PCI despite his AS.
What was your strategy? What was the anatomy?
So he had heavily calcified proximal LAD disease. He had proximal circumflex disease that was involving bifurcation of a large OM that was also heavily calcified, and then he had proximal RCA disease.
Yeah. So what was challenging in the case?
Well, so first of all, we had to perform rotational atherectomy both in his LAD and then at the bifurcation disease in his circumflex. Which is always a little bit challenging, someone who you're worried about their hemodynamics with severe AS. We had to treat a bifurcation lesion in the circumflex system, which was also a challenge, and we were doing everything from a radial approach.
Already. So you got one access radial. Mm-hmm. Any hemodynamic support?
No, we thought about it, but actually what I didn't mention is he has very bad peripheral vascular disease, so he actually wouldn't have even been a candidate for transfemoral TAVR. It was going to be a percutaneous subclavian TAVR. So, Impella wouldn't have really been an option there, at least transfemoral, and then with his severe AS, it might have been difficult to use an Impella.
So, shifting gears from the case, so you said he's alternative access for large bore.
Correct.
So the subclavian is cut down by a surgeon?
So the plan was to do a percutaneous subclavian, actually, and to kind of skip ahead to the end, actually, after his revascularization, he felt so well that his symptoms improved so much that he's actually deferring TAVR for right now.
Already, okay.
So the plan was percutaneous subclavian TAVR, but it hasn't happened yet because he's actually feeling quite well.
So institution-wise, where we're at University of Illinois or now, what is the first alternative access in the cath lab for large bore? Transcaval, axillary.
Sure. So at University of Illinois, we were just kind of getting our TAVR program underway, actually, at the beginning of 2018. So this was, I believe, going to be our first alternative access case, and we were going to go percutaneous subclavian. At Minneapolis Heart Institute, I think it depends somewhat on the operator. I think we've been doing some direct carotids that we've been happy with the results there. We just did our first transcaval approach a couple weeks ago, and that went very well. So I think we were happy with that and looking forward to possibly doing that more in the future.
And the valve was core valve or Edwards?
It was an Edwards valve.
So 16, 18 French.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Well, that's very challenging. I mean, with the more we see of this population coming to the cath lab, they're older, more comorbidities, and they have more calcified lesions. So now, as we are graduating as fellows, it's going to be more challenging to face this as a first, as a population we're going to see in the community. Thanks for your time, Daniel. Congratulations for being the finalist for the case. Watch the Daniel Feldman case and other cases on CVI website and YouTube channel. This is Shadi Reyes from Denver, Colorado.